important point is, it's been my experience, like, being with, like, a lot of MSAs or just any spaces where it's, like, majority, like, non-black, non-white, like, Muslim youth, is they use this excuse that, oh, it's my parents that are backwards. They learned it back home from Pakistan or Palestine or, you know, all these places, like, you know, trying to, like, kind of, first of all, trying to make a point, like, I guess the rest of the world is, like, behind in America or whatever. But I think a lot of people use that as an excuse to escape accountability. They don't want to be accountable for their own racism, their own anti-blackness, and they don't even realize that while they're bashing their parents for being anti-black, for their anti-black cultures, you're literally raised and proud of a culture that is birthed from slavery, that has, like, mass incarceration, you know, police brutality. Like, if you don't even, like, make the connections there, it just tells me you're so out of touch with reality. Like, you don't even realize you yourself, you're a product of the society, and you do have internalized anti-blackness. And to use this, like, you know, constant excuse, oh, it's my parents, they don't know better, they don't know how to speak English, they're the ones who are racist, not me, I think is just, like, disingenuous, because it's a cop-out. Like, you don't want to take accountability for the own racist BS that you do yourself. So I just find, like, I hear that all the time. I'm like, it's totally not true. You're accountable for your own actions and the society that you live in, you know.
At the same time, like, when they speak to you and call out, like, bash their parents, I'm like, you surround yourself, not, I mean, family, you can't choose family, I mean, with friends, like, when they use, like, the N-word or microaggressions or racist terms or whatever, they don't call them out, like, what
those are
Mommy
conscious
said. Like,
decisions.
Yeah, those are conscious decisions, like, what's like, call them out. And if you're like, oh, they don't listen to me, why are you surrounding yourself
with people like that?
Racist people?
And not only that, even if they don't listen to you, why not educate them?
Yeah.
Why not learn yourself?
Because it's uncomfortable for them and they don't want to take that step.
They don't want to talk about it, right?
Because they're more comfortable in it's more comfortable for them to live with, like, the anti-blackness that they have and that their parents exhibit and that their community exists, because no one is is confident enough in themselves to stand up against, like, bigotry even within their own households. So, like, they'll use the excuse that, oh, my parents are like that, but I'm not. And it's kind of just like, well, then it's your duty, especially we're talking about the Muslim community. It goes back to, like, it's as the Muslim, it's your duty to go back and to educate and to go back and to educate your community and to educate your parents on why the things that they do or the things that they say or the comments that they make about black folks, about black Muslims are wrong. And for you to be saying, well, I don't want to rock the boat, well, that's disingenuous to yourself, because clearly for you it's not that big of a deal, or it's not that it's not that big of a problem for you for you to not feel like you have to take an extra step to kind of fix it,
because they're not the one being oppressed.
And they always want to like lean back on black folks to like fix their problems. So like the amount of time people have been like, well, what can we do? Like, can you come and speak to our community about anti-blackness in the Muslim community?
And those are the same people. Those are the same people trying to go ahead and find out if saying the N-word is okay. Like
I know some polls, on Instagram. Guys, is the N-word okay? Let's have a discussion, and they have no black friends.
No black friends. None.
Yeah, like
yes.
So, you know what? Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I got a text message one time on WhatsApp, and they said something problematic, and I was like, this is problematic. And they were like, oh, well, I don't remember what it was, but I remember after the conversation, I was just like, I'm not doing this. I literally blocked that contact. That person could not contact me on my phone for years. And I was just like, I am done, because I'm so sick and tired of having to deal with all of this and to still be expected to smile, and when you don't, they're like, oh, what's wrong? Why is she so angry? Why don't you ever come around anymore, Nandi's? Because you guys are racist. It's like low-key, being here makes me hate you, and I'm not allowed to hate you because we're both Muslim, so I'm gonna just not be a part of it. And then to continuously ask black folks to be like, come educate us about ourselves, and I'm like, no, like, do some reflective acknowledgement or whatever, but like, Because if I tell you about yourself, I'm gonna hurt your feelings, and my goal is going to, like, I want you to feel hurt. That's where I'm at right now. If someone like asks me, my goal is really like I want you to be hurt. I want to hurt your feelings. I want you to feel how I feel all the time.
Yeah.
I definitely understand. We want allies. Of course, we want that. Of course, we want people that's going to.
What is happening? Like, this is not
because
serious.
she said we want allies, and we both looked at you like, do we
That's what I thought. I'm looking this way, and literally, I could feel the body language here and her as well.
I was gonna say, it's not even that we don't want to be responsible. It's not our jobs to be responsible. Everything is out there. So, like, people who are like, hey, can you teach us how to be an ally? No, I can't. But, like, Muslim Mark exists.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me?
Yeah.
When there are organizations that you need to pay, I
was really trying to say, though, like, I totally agree 100% with each and every single one of you guys. Dead serious. But what I was really trying to say is that we don't want you guys to turn, like, a blind side. Does that make sense? Like, we don't want you to, like, okay, well, since Black people don't want my help, then I'm not going to do anything about it. No, we just want you to start in your home, start in your community, start around your friends.
Understand, like, Black liberation helps everyone. But, like, when Black people are free, your struggles are a lot better. Like, honestly, like, the only reason you're able to even immigrate, like, come to this country is because after, the Civil Rights Act was passed, they allowed, they passed a law where, like, they allowed, like, different people from different places to come here. So, like, when Black people are not oppressed, it literally helps you. It helps you as a brown person. Because you don't think they're not, like, these white people, these Europeans are not going to go and, like, just oppress you guys. Like, it makes no sense. Like, why do you, as a person of color who's interested in, like, liberation or whatever, want to align yourself with, like, oppressors? Align yourself with those who are oppressed, and it helps everyone. Like, literally, there is nothing for you to lose here. It helps your people when you help Black people, and it really just comes down to that. And I think the point that Nandi made about, like, educating people and for free and stuff, I think this is a point about, like, also Black Muslim women, because I know you and me, because of our rants that we go off on, like, maybe social media or whatever, being termed, like, the angry, like, Black girl, or, just, like, all the time, and, like, and I think it's a thing about, like, Black Muslim women, as if we're not allowed to be angry, and when we're angry, we're, like, the angry Black girl. Oh my God, I can't.
Not only that, the Muslim woman, they don't expect that from a Muslim woman.
Yeah, even that, but, like, as a Black Muslim woman, like, you being angry and political and, like, ranting off, it's too much for me, you're too scary, and, like, where is all this coming from? And it comes back to, like, this internalized anti-Blackness where our presence really scares you. Like, I'm being honest, like, our presence, us talking political and being, like, ranting, all like this, it scares them because we remind them of what they are. And it's like being hypocritical, when you post Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, because our presence makes you so nervous and anxious, you have to call us the angry Black girls. Like, nothing we do or say makes them happy, and it's just more comfortable for you, so I mean, that's just the point I have to say, like, specifically about Black Muslim women who are political and they rant off, because there's so much, like, criticism there, because I've gotten that a lot, like, you're too angry for, like, a Muslim woman, for Black women, like, and I was like, what is there to be, like, not angry about? Like, that's a question. Like, you make the space so hard for us to even, like, enter and be happy and exist. Like, I can't be comfortable, so I'm gonna be angry, and I'm gonna just do that,
Yeah, and if you're wondering why, like, each of your events, like, there's barely any Black person there, it's because it's their fault. They haven't created a healthy space for Black Muslims to come in and join, because it's just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, in everything, like, any actions, there's, like, the slightest, like, microaggression, like, over here and over there,
Yeah.
And who wants to continuously put themselves in those positions to, like,
at all,
to be angry
Yeah.
when it's so easy to, like, just not, like,
Exactly.
it's like, oh, we're having this event, like, no, it's okay, I'd rather spend the plane ticket to go to, like, BMPC and just be like,
Actually,
like, honestly, and it's so, because I've been, like I said, I've been involved in so many organizations, just like, this is probably a little off topic anyway, but just being able to, like, be in events in groups where like it's majority Black Muslims.
I don't even know what that feels like.
I didn't either,
I
and
don't know what it
wallahi,
feels like
I
either.
promise
It's
you,
like
I didn't realize I was lacking it until I went to BMPC last year.
And when NPC,
the Black Muslim Psychology Conference.
We gonna go inshallah
I'm saying
next year.
where?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's in Philly.
We can go next
We're not
year.
having it this year,
Because of
unfortunately, but
COVID, yeah.
inshallah, next year, 2021.
We have to do
But-
inshallah, definitely.
But, like,
It's
I
incredible.
walked in, and there was like, I walked into a room full of people, right? And that was the first time where I didn't have this like innate anxiety in myself,
Yeah.
like making sure I'm covered properly. Like, oh my dress
anxiety.
can't be too tight. I have to make sure my hijab looks a certain way because, or like nothing's showing that like, well, like, oh, she's trying to like that promiscuous Black woman, right? 'Cause that's literally what they all think of us.
Yeah.
But and
Really?
just
Yeah.
Whew, I've been living on the rock.
really, yeah.
I promise you, I just feel like I don't know what's going on in terms of like this community. Like I feel like I feel like of course they look at me weird, this strange alien girl, especially like my culture and how I deal with things and how I'm so out there, as you guys know, on social media. So it's kind of to me like everything's been talked behind my back, and that's it. Like I don't know what it is. Like
oh yeah, no, black Muslim women's bodies are definitely like policed more than like regular Muslim women's bodies because of our features. Like naturally, like God gave us like hips and all of that, and so I swear to God. But like and when you walk into certain spaces, it's like we like for me, like I cover and I do all that. I mean, we all cover, and we do what we can to make sure that we're covered. But like, yo, sometimes it's just you can't. Like I can't.
Or
like,
that we talk too loud, or I mean, you're too loud. I don't like that.
Even something as simple as like, oh, well, your bun is too big. Well, I'm not trying. I got a lot of hair, and I'm doing my best. Things that like they say, and being able to go into a space where it was like. Just seeing so many people who like look like you, who like you know how it is when you walk into a group and it's all Black people and everyone's like cool and chill and Black women and like everyone's dressed up and it was just like it felt so nice. And I left there and I came back here and I was legitimately sad for such a long time because I was like. I can't believe I have to come back. The same thing when I went to Eid in Philly last year. That's how we did in Philly, and like it was like I didn't even know nobody. Like outside of my family, I didn't know nobody. But just being in like
space.
Hundreds of Black Muslims in one space. And like just that communal love, and everyone was so nice, and no one was like looking at me and talking bad about me in Arabic or Urdu or whatever. And having to come back here and just be reminded, like, yo, you don't live somewhere like that, and people here are trash, and just having to continuously, it's depressing.
It is.
That's why I'm moving to DC.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was telling you guys in the beginning when it comes to like how I feel about this community. Like, you know, I don't feel like I belong here. And I'm always craving to be around like people that looks like me or people that could relate to me or even like even good Muslim, period, that would be nice, you know? Like, I'm just saying, I'm not saying like this community not good. For real though, like I just feel like there's no, it's lonely out here, y'all. Like,
it is.
And like it has to do with everything. It has to do with just being a Muslim, being a Black Muslim, being a woman that's Black and that's an immigrant Muslim. I just feel like out of place when it comes to this community, and the fact that the love that I have for Islam and I just don't see it here within our community is just sad in itself too. And I wish I could experience what you experienced in Philly, and I am so looking forward to it, inshallah.
Next year. We're all gonna go. I'm gonna introduce you to the people. I know like 2 people, but they're great. So it's gonna be great.
That would be lovely. Like because I want that. I really, really want that.
What do you guys think is the role of like imams? Because I feel like a lot of the masajid, like their tone can really be set by the imams, to be honest. And I feel like
what do you mean?
Huge presence.
Like I don't think there's a large. I feel like when we have this conversation about anti-blackness in Muslim community, and like we focus on each other, whatever. But I don't think there's like enough attention like on who the imam is and what his actions how his actions like affect like the community there, because I feel like if the imam, let's say whoever he is not like straightforward from the beginning about, or makes it, you know, clear that about anti-blackness and being inclusive or whatever, then I feel like a lot
not
of
only says
the
the
community would
accent
like
too.
yeah, exactly, accent. I don't feel like we talk enough about the role of imams in establishing like the atmosphere at masajid, like, or people don't really give them that responsibility or anything.
I don't even think they take on that responsibility. I don't even think they think about it twice. So how can they even really think about the black community if they never once experienced anything that we experience?
Yeah.
So when they teach and they think in Islam, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Even in that too, like, I just to say, like, being imam and like, oh, they just want to teach Islam. You, like, again, you live in America, we have like oppressive systems everywhere. As you as an imam, how come you can't speak truth to the realities of the place that you're living in, right? Because it's just like, it should be a part of the Islam, like common sense really, to be like, oh, it is Islamic to talk about oppression of black people. Like, we live in this society, you know, so many other scholars, like, you know, who've lost their lives going against, like, giving government, like, you know, really risk their life. You're not even risking your life. It's just like making a public statement, having a public conversation.
Look at history, like, like speaking out, like.
I think unless somebody come to them, and that's just me giving them the benefit of doubt. Unless somebody come to them and like, go, hey, this is what we are facing in our community as a black person, and this is what's happening, and we want you to address it. Unless that happen, I really don't feel like it's a problem for them to address because it's not right in front of their face every day. You know, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. And sometimes it's even from the imams that people get racist microaggression
that too.
But they allow it also. Like, some racism happens in their mosque, they're supposed to stand up, like, be totally against it, but they allow it too.
It's because
so it's not like.
Well, it's because they have issues of anti-black. The imams that aren't equipped to, are barely equipped to lead the community as is without even bringing in the aspect of like anti-blackness or like the issues that like black Muslims face, right? And so we can't. What I was saying was that I don't even think that like I want the imams, especially like within our community, to even try and address issues of like anti-blackness and like the issues that face like black Muslims and black folks in general, because they still have a lot of unlearning to do themselves. Like, how can you teach others about anti-blackness if you still exhibit anti-blackness within themselves? And they have to do a lot of unlearning and relearning about like what it really truly means to serve their communities. And that like and then I get the example of like the message here who are like saying things about like, you know, we support black lives as like the Muslim community is like, you can say that you support black lives, but you don't care about the black lives and the black folks and the black Muslims that are in your congregation on the daily. So it turns into just like this huge bout of hypocrisy. And so before you even attempt to try and like do any fighting outwards within like outside of the Muslim community, like you really need to do a lot of that unlearning anti-blackness and like learning how to really be effective in your community from within, and reach out to organizations like Muslim Arc. I've plugged Muslim Arc so many times and I don't even work for them. You guys need to like plug into like organizations that are doing this work like Muslim Arc and get them in your masajid and in your youth centers and in your organizations and like have them do that work and work with them to really dismantle anti-blackness and to really truly be like anti-racist.
And just to add on to what Nani said.
No, it's okay. I'm there.
I'm happy.
I see a lot of people trying to separate the two. Islam, oh, this is Islam, Islamic Islamic history, and this is politics. It's all part of Islam. Like Islam itself, we cover politics, we cover Sharia. It's a way of life. It's not really like a religion of going, pray or do this. Is in every part of your life, and that's the whole scope of it.
No, but they have no problem being political when it's supporting back home stuff, right? Let's support you know, like Palestine or revolution back home. So you understand when the politics concerns you, but you just don't care when it happens in your own backyard.
Right.
Or to black people.
Or to black people.
Just to put it out there, like Islam is all of it.
And they do that to try to pacify people, to try to appease people, like, oh, don't go to protest, or even like people saying like, oh, un-Islamic or things like that. But it was like, you know, even saying that just goes to show like you're completely unaware of the realities that are happening every day. It makes no sense.
I mean, in the end, sorry, that's the one last thing. In the end, the people who care, and the people who don't, they're just gonna ride off the trend and that's it. Those who truly care are gonna actually go within their communities and do something, right? If they're, whether Desi or Arab or whatever, and they really want to enact that change, we'll see it would happen within the community. They'll start young, go to their mosques and be like, we have to take racism serious. If a child comes up and said, oh, they said a racist term to me, all of the administration, you have to be in an uproar. Is this taking the action? Unlearning, like to make sure like the whole community unlearns. So we're gonna see that like people are gonna ride off the trend right now, but like in the end, like people care. You can't make them.
So I just don't see it happening unless we start doing something and continue to do something and be consistent and make sure we bring awareness to the situation. Or if they see something like, okay, let me go ahead and address it and attack it head on. Like I do not see it happening.
I feel like
that's what I say. They care.
I know, but I feel like even with that, it's, you know how like right now because of everything that's happening, people are like forced to like do something.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like we have to do that, like the Black Muslims in your own like community or whatever. Like organize only with yourselves. Like don't even take like, you know, that labor of trying to explain to like, you know, racist Desiderato's around you or whatever, you know. Just organize within yourselves and do something yourselves, because when it, and whatever you guys do, if it grows and becomes bigger in your community, at some point the community can't just ignore it. They're gonna be like kind of forced. Like you're gonna be like, place them in an awkward position, make them uncomfortable like publicly, because then they all kind of are forced to like reflect. Because I feel like really just going to individual non-Black people, like, you know, telling them to start in their home again. Hey, I don't think we can just rely on that.
I think that's why it has to start with us.
Like, doing our own things, and then people were gonna be like, oh, they're gonna have to take notice.
We're going to wrap it up, and we are going to continue this conversation. Please, you guys, like, comment, subscribe, and we are like, comment, and subscribe, and we are going to continue this conversation because we really, really want people to listen, like, you know, like people to really hear what we have to say. We are Muslim in this community, and it's very important that we are using our voice. So for you guys to at least get some insight. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to share? You guys want to let people know before we end this?
Follow me on Instagram.
If you're like a young like Black Muslim in the South Florida community, please reach out. We're trying to find you.
Yeah, we're gonna host. We were supposed to host Black Iftar this year. So many things happen, but like once COVID ends, like we're gonna get together and we're gonna meet up and we're gonna create spaces that are safe for us so that we can thrive.
If you want to be an ally, I'm gonna say that again. It starts with you. Like you have to take the initiative. So
I am so grateful, so happy that you guys got this far listening to us and what we have to say. Please stay tuned, and we will see you guys later.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.